Hey guys, welcome to my channel where here I'm going to merge nail art tutorials and horror stories. This is my first video ever, so I figured why not have it be like my introduction video. So, my name is Angelica and I started my press on nail business last year around April of 2023, and I've been trying to grow it ever since then. I have Instagram, TikTok, and I figured why not try to start a YouTube channel because I myself love watching nail tutorials and also watching spooky podcasts, spooky YouTube videos, things like that. I'm based out of Denver, Colorado, and I've been living here since like 2016. So I've been out here for about close to 7 or 8 years now. I was born and raised in California, and then I lived in Texas for a little bit, and then now Colorado. So I've always been a horror fan since honestly I can remember. Ever since I was a little girl, I can remember always watching scary movies and things like that. Anytime my cousins would come over, I would always want to watch a scary movie. But of course, we were all little kids. So most little kids are scared of horror movies and things like that. I'm not so much. Of course, there were ones that definitely, did get me scared. The main one that still scares me to this day was The Grudge. So if you know, you know. I still hate closets to this day. If I have a bedroom that has a closet, it has to be closed anytime I go to bed, if I can see the closet at the very least. But yeah, so definitely there are some scary movies here and there that have gotten me over the years, but for the most part I have always loved horror movies and I've always been interested in the paranormal and things like that. My favorite show since I was like 9 years old was Ghost Adventures. So again, if you know, you know. The good old classic beginning episodes of Ghost Adventures were great. As they've went on towards more recent years, it's kind of iffy here and there, but either way I still love the show. I've been to Zach's museum multiple times. I plan on going again and probably will continue to go multiple times in the future. Related to that, I have my own personal stories about being in Zach's haunted museum and having a few creepy things happen here and there. So I will eventually get to that at some point. But so a little bit back to, when I was a kid, I was always one of those kids that when I was on YouTube, I was looking up ghost videos and proof of ghosts and just videos, that are similar to that. And, of course, especially back in the day when YouTube was first becoming a thing, there was a lot of fake videos and things like that. But there were also, true ones. And so I have always just loved watching anything remotely related to the paranormal, ghost shows, documentaries, honestly, anything. So along with this, I do have a couple of my own stories of paranormal experiences that have happened throughout my life, especially with family members and my boyfriend as well. I have plenty of stories to go through, so I'm definitely very excited to tell you guys these stories. I'm hoping to be able to tell some of my family members or even my boyfriend's paranormal stories on this channel as well. It's kind of the point of this channel. It's going to be mainly horror stories while you get to watch me make my press on nail sets. I'm also hoping that with these videos, I get your guys' own personal experience submission stories. I would love to tell all of your guys' stories. I mean, there's so many people in the world that have experienced so many different things, and with the day and age of social media, it's more comfortable for people to tell their stories because there's plenty of people out there that have been through a similar thing, can relate. Back in, before social media, there was the worry of being considered a little, I don't know, crazy, but now there's just so many different channels and avenues of where stories can be told that you're not alone anymore. So I definitely want to be kind of part of that and just help everyone know that yeah, you're not alone. And if you have had an experience, pretty sure that there's someone out there that has also had a similar experience. So, as But yeah, so, with me saying that I've always been interested in the paranormal, I also have never crossed certain lines just because I don't know. I guess I could say I've known better. Yes, I believe in that stuff. So I've never really wanted to cross certain lines to be like, oh yeah, let me prove it for sure. No, I have never messed with Ouija boards. I've never messed with anything on when it comes to like the occult or witchcraft or anything like that. I've never even really gone to like abandoned or haunted places willingly, consciously. I've never done like an actual ghost hunt or seances, all of those kind of things. I have never messed with, I have never wanted to mess with. Not only that, I mean, again, there's plenty of stories out there of people who have messed with that stuff and it didn't turn out great. I do have a story from my own personal experience from one of my friends back in like middle school that messed with something like that, and it wasn't great. So I will eventually get to that story. But yeah, so I've definitely heard enough stories about all of the consequences that come with seances, Ouija boards, all of that other kind of stuff. So I just would rather not push the limit and, have to deal with those long-term consequences. So, I guess to kind of start off this channel right, I will tell you guys about my number one paranormal experience that has forever stuck with me and has forever proved that there's other things out there that we just honestly just can't explain. There's a lot of skeptics and things like that, but that try to prove, certain things or because of this or whatever, whatever. But honestly, there is just some things out there that cannot be proved. So here we go, guys. So to start off my story, this took place years ago when I was a kid. I want to say I was probably around maybe 8 or 9, maybe 10 years old, somewhere around that age range. And to kind of fill you in, I'm 25 years old now. So the fact that this story has stuck with me for so long has definitely made an impact. Not only that, the biggest thing about this story was I wasn't alone. I had two other witnesses to this. So that definitely helped validate that I wasn't crazy. I wasn't tripping. My mind didn't, change some part of the memory or whatever. But so my parents, my dad and my stepmom, they lived in this townhome in this apartment community that our apartment happened to be next to this Catholic church. So there was this Catholic church next to us with this big parking lot, and then there was like a brick stone wall that separated the church parking lot and the apartment community. They happened to live on one of the apartment that was right there next to the wall that was connected to the parking lot of the church. So we were literally right there next to the church essentially. And it was a Catholic church, not sure if that really matters or relates, but that was the kind of church that we were next to. So I didn't full time live with my dad and my stepmom in this townhome. I, would have visitation with my dad. My dad and my mom were split up, so I would have visitation and whatnot. So when I would live there, it was a 2-story townhome. The bedrooms were on the top floor, living room, kitchen, etc. Garage was on the bottom. So when I would sleep in my bedroom, it was really weird. So just imagine you walk into the bedroom and it's an open room. My bed was in the very back right corner of the bedroom. There was a window on the wall, and then there was like the corner closet. It was kind of like a small walk in corner closet, and it had a door. So when you walk in the bedroom, the corner closet is on the left hand side. There's the wall with the window, and then there's my bed that's in the corner, the right hand corner of the room. And again, this bedroom is on the second floor, and outside of the window there was like a very like thin small tree. It didn't have any leaves or anything on it. Maybe it was the time of year or whatever, but it just was mainly like, a stick branch tree that didn't really have much vegetation or whatnot on it. So outside our front door, there was the sidewalk path in order to get to other apartments. So there's little street lamps and whatever. But so at night, my blinds, I would just leave my blinds open. I'm on the second floor, so I didn't really worry about closing them. But when I would lay in my bed and I would look up at the ceiling, the shadow on the ceiling resembled a silhouette of a head and shoulders. Again, that didn't make any sense considering I was on the second floor and the only thing outside my window was a spindly dead tree and like, other apartment buildings. Like the shadow on the ceiling just didn't make any sense. It genuinely, I remember multiple times just looking at the shadow, looking at my window, looking at the shadow, looking at my window and being like, that's weird. Why is that shape formed from my window and the light coming in from outside? It just didn't make any sense. But the shadow, it never moved or anything like that. It was just the silhouette itself was just really weird. So I always found that weird, never really thought much to it. And then as time went on, I when you walked into the bedroom, immediately if you were to walk in the door, look down to your right, I had like my pile of stuffed animals and they were all neat and organized. They were all sitting in like a line in front of each other and whatnot. But essentially they were nice and organized. But so for some reason, at some point, I kind of started getting like nervous and kind of scared, and I felt like all of my stuffed animals were staring at me and watching me. So at one point, I had my two cousins come over. They were twins. They honestly are like sisters to me. We were super close, spent a lot of time together. They have plenty of their own paranormal stories, which I will probably eventually get into as long as I can get their permission to tell their stories. But anyway, I had them come over and I told them about how my stuffed animals have been making me kind of nervous. I just feel just weird. I feel like they're watching me, whatever, whatever. So we decide to do a experiment essentially. So, like I said, when you walk into that bedroom, it's an open room. There's nothing in the middle of the room. My bed is in the right back corner. There's literally, it's just an open room. So, we take one of my stuffed animals. If you guys remember, what is it, Webkins, the little different animals, and you scan a QR code, or I don't even know if QR codes were a thing back then. You type in a link or something to a browser, and it takes you to the Webkins website, and you can play a whole bunch of games and whatever, whatever. But anyway, I had one of the little orange tabby Webkin stuffed animal cats. So we grabbed one of those and we put it on the middle of my bed. Again, my bed is in the back right corner of the room. There's probably about maybe 10 to 20 feet from my bed to the bedroom door. So we put my cat, the stuffed animal cat, in the middle of my bed. We walk out the bedroom, we close the door, and we sit right outside my door to make sure that my dad or my stepmom doesn't go into the bedroom. Or we just wanted to make sure that nothing messed with our experiment. We sat out there in the hallway in front of my door to make sure that nobody went in there, nothing weird. Like, we just wanted to make sure nothing was going to mess with it. So we're sitting out there. I honestly don't remember how long we were sitting out there. Couldn't have been longer than maybe 10, 15 minutes. So we sit out there. Again, nobody went into the bedroom. And we decide, okay, let's go back in there. We open the bedroom door, and the stuffed animal cat is in the middle of the floor of my bedroom, facing the door, sitting upright, sitting like a essentially almost like a normal cat, sitting like a normal cat with its head cocked to the side. And at that moment, the three of us were just kind of stunned. Like, even now, it still gives me chills. I honestly still have no explanation for it. Um, so the fact that I wasn't the only one that saw this, the fact that my two cousins also saw this, just proves to me that, again, like, I'm not crazy. Like, I wasn't the only one that saw this. Like, we verified with the, like, we, all three of us were there to see the cat be put on my bed. It wasn't put in the middle of the floor. It wasn't put on the edge of my bed. And even if it was put on the edge of my bed, if it fell over, it wouldn't end up in the middle of the bedroom facing the door. Like, there was literally no explanation whatsoever for this. So we walk into the bedroom, we see that, we're honestly just stunned, don't really know what to do, what to say. So what we end up doing is just grabbing the cat, the stuffed animal cat, putting it with all the other stuffed animals. My cousins ended up saying some type of like blessing or something to just, I don't know, bless the stuffed animals for if whatever was there to make it go away. Either way, they did some type of blessing over the stuffed animals, and that was that. Honestly, after that occurrence, I don't remember whether or not if I ever went back to that townhouse or not, because some personal things happened between me and my dad and my own mom. So I honestly don't remember whether or not I ever had to really like go back to that bedroom, go back to that townhouse after that happened. If I did go back, it was like maybe a once or twice kind of thing. Either way, they moved out of that townhouse at some point, and that was that. I honestly still have no explanation to this day. I just, even thinking about it right now, I really don't know what to say about it, besides it is literally just an unexplained occurrence. I don't know if it relates to the church that we happen to live next to. I don't know if maybe those apartments were maybe built on a graveyard or something, because I know a lot of times churches used to have like their own graveyards and whatnot. Who knows, to be honest. Either way, that room in general would sometimes unnerve me. The shadow from my window can't explain that. And then overall, the fact that my stuffed animal cat moved at the very least 10 feet by itself with no one in the bedroom at all, I genuinely have no explanation. So if anybody listening to this story has similar stories or has a similar experience with a toy, a doll, or just anything in general moving by itself with absolutely no explanation, please let me know, because I would love to know that I'm not the only one that has genuinely seen something with their own eyes move from the spot that you put it in. So, this video is coming to an end. I genuinely hope that you guys enjoyed this first initial story and this introduction. I hope that you guys continue to watch my channel, listen to my stories, and eventually share your own stories as well.